Typical for him.
Alrighty. Good evening. This is the Bedford Township Park Commission meeting for June 9th. Call to order the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Get this hooked up. Alrighty, before the approval of the agenda, we do have two additions. Going down the order, in item number 9, 9D added will be the Summer Parks program for Samaria Park, and 9E will be the car park pavilion modifications, approval and kind of discussion. Outside of those two additions, anybody else have anything to add, to remove, or otherwise I need a motion for the approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve of the agenda is...
With those two additions.
Yes.
Okay.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alrighty, 4 approvals. Aaron, if you didn't get 9D is added. Here, I'll just give you mine so you can start for your notes there at the bottom there. Yep. Item 3, approval of the minutes from May 12th, 2025. I reviewed them. I didn't see any changes. Anybody have any adjustments or additions needed to switch in those?
No, they look good to me. I motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The minutes from May 12th are approved. Secretary's report. No report. Treasurer's report.
Yes, treasurer's report. If they can get pulled up on the screen here.
They will. There it is.
So just some typical bills, cleaning bills from Amy Frost for car in Samaria. I also put the dates in there so we can keep track of like when they're being cleaned, so we know they're getting the job done, which is fantastic.
Perfect.
On top of
Consumers
Michigan Gas and South Carolina, just typical stuff right now. At the end of the month, you'll expect some revenue for the rentals and the cell tower.
Yep. With no changes or anything else, it's all pretty standard billing. Nothing looks out of the ordinary, like energy bills didn't spike or anything. They're all pretty standard. I will motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Support.
All in favor, Aaron?
Aye.
Matthew?
Aye.
Myself, aye.
Niedercore votes aye.
Treasurer's report is passed. Waiting for the screen to come back. Or if you've got my sheet, if Aaron's got it. That takes us to presentations. We don't have any listed for tonight outside of our specific items. ComEd, Park Partners, I didn't get anything from ComEd. I know soccer is in its final week wrapping up with ComEd, and then I know at least kindergarten, t-ball, and some other leagues are beginning like the week right after it. So it's keeping busy. It's getting into summer now for them. Otherwise, I didn't get any info. I know same thing, 3B, it's busy over there. A lot of seasons going to be coming to a wrap at the 4th, and then some more summer leagues after it. Comments from the public? None. So which moves us into our items. So 9A, our initial one here, is the pickleball court bids review for Car Park and the selection. We did get all of our bids. The public bidding, it was closed. They were reviewed by Mannequin Smith, and we got the entire list of them and everything back, and then went into review. Matthew, I'll let you take it away.
So yeah, we went and talked with Mannequin Smith. We got, I believe that representatives of the 2 companies that came in the lowest bid, so we wanted to just, in case we had some questions, have you guys come here and just review it with us. But the 2 lowest were from,
Right here.
thanks, Asphalt Specialist LLC at $219,225, and then A&J Paving Company at $247,000.
No.
Yes.
It is now.
And $247,443, which are both below the estimate of the engineers. So,
Yeah, to recap it all, we were roughly estimating in the Mannequin Smith that estimated this to come in at $335,869 for the project. So we're looking well below it, which is a good sign.
how do you want to?
However you want to go about bringing them up, what differences were, what recommendations are. I'll let you kind of take the.
What do we have from Manikin Smith? Did they provide a recommendation or any advice, or can we get a summary of?
They did. They said,
So what do they
basically
say?
their letter states, upon thorough evaluation of the contractor's unit prices for each pay item, the low bidder was determined to be Asphalt Specialist LLC. It was 6.41% under the estimated cost. The remaining bids ranged 247 to 333, so they all came in under that initial 335 estimate. Asphalt Specialist provided a big bid bond in the amount of 5% of their bid as required. Their offices worked on projects with this contractor previously, and they're comfortable with their ability to perform the project within the time frame required. As such, we recommend award of the contract to the low bidder, Asphalt Specialist LLC, and the Park Commission enter into a contract in the bid amount of $219,225, which was their amount. However, we would suggest including an additional 10% contingency allowance in the approved amount allocated to the project to cover any unforeseen additional work or modifications desired by the township during the course of construction. That approved amount would be $241,147.50. Final payment will be determined based on the contractor's unit prices and final installed quantities. Should we, the Park Commission, accept this recommendation, they will issue a notice to proceed and coordinate with the contractor to obtain proof of insurance and the required performance and payment bonds, and then they will facilitate the execution of the contract. Attached, you will find a summary of the bids, blah, 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 so we have all that summary. So really, this is where we were opening it up to, if you guys took the time to review, look through, all the pricing was line itemed out, bidder by bidder. Did anybody have any questions or need any details? Specifically, the rep from Asphalt Specialist is here. Okay. I'm sorry, what was your name? Meenakshi? Yeah. Okay. So they are here. If you have any questions specific to the bid, it was everything, as far as my understanding from reading through it all, everything that was in the bid package was met. All requirements were met. This is who Manikin Smith is recommending. I don't know if you took time and saw any of the others. The only other, to throw my knowledge and insight in there, there's not much else. Everything was met. The only other company in this entire list that I'm familiar with was Pavlika, who didn't even make top 3, but I know they were the ones that did the work over at the Whiteford Center courts, or the Stoneco courts in Whiteford. I know those courts are nice. Here's where we're at with pricing and who came in and who's recommended. So I have no real outside recommendation or say other than following Manikin Smith.
If you can come to the podium, I just have a couple questions that we can.
I have a question as well, too.
Yep. Fire away, guys.
You can go ahead first, Josh.
So we were just talking about the. Yeah.
Meenakshi Krishnan with Asphalt Specialists LLC.
So I have one question. I kind of just thought about it. So there was an incident over the weekend at the courts over in Bedford Township where there was a medical emergency. Someone ran off the road, plowed through the fences over the court. As far as I know, the courts weren't damaged, though. Just the fencing was. So I'm just wondering, if we ever had an issue. These courts are going to be further back on the road. But if there's ever any vandalism or whatnot, is the surface going to be okay? What's the hard level of the surface, or the paint and all that, the lines?
So everything will be barricaded off as once we put the asphalt down. It takes about 30 minutes for it to cure.
Okay.
And then we're going to have our striping company come in and put the court striping on.
Okay.
They'll seal everything. Before they do it, we will have the fence posts up.
Okay.
So
I guess a better question would be, once the project's completed, everything's done, if we ran into an issue down the road, such as that car drove through, do you guys also do repair work or anything to where we could contact you, or is this strictly hey, we build new courts and that's all we do kind of situation?
if it is something surface level, definitely our striping company, which has got a subcontractor, which is Goddard. If it's fixable, we can. If it's something surface, if it's not, if it's something more than that, we can definitely take a look at it.
Okay.
But that being said, if it's a third party, if it's a huge thing, it wouldn't be covered under warranty.
Right.
Right,
They're
right.
not meant to be driven on, so.
Exactly.
Well, in the case something happens, or vandalism, because you never know, that could happen too. How many years is the warranty?
We do 1-year warranties.
1 year? Okay.
Which is pretty standard.
So you have built pickleball courts in the past?
Yes, we have. We're actually, as a reference, we're doing Stephens Park into the city of Fraser right now, which is also a tennis court and also a pickleball court that they converted into. And ironically, we just paved your Bedford Town, the maintenance building behind. Key construction.
How long does the construction typically take?
For us
For
to
this scale of project, 8 courts.
hoping weather is in our favor,
Right.
say 14 days to the max.
Good 2-week project
For
window.
us to do the asphalt, but then it takes another 14 days for the striping to happen on top of it for the asphalt to cure. So I'd figure about a month.
A 1-month window, okay.
That's faster than I thought it would take.
Yeah, because we were expecting longer. We were expecting like at least 2 months.
Yeah,
or
don't
so.
worry. It'll rain for 13 days straight, and that
Hopefully
window,
not.
that window will grow. Like, Aaron, any other?
That's great. So we pay Mannequin Smith for it, make a recommendation.
Exactly.
I'm in no position to argue.
Can you give any insight to how you can come in so much lower?
I guess, do you guys do like bulk orders of supplies, like asphalt and those things? Like, are you mainly an asphalting company?
We are an asphalting company.
Because that's where I noticed a lot of the difference was like that's where big, like tens of thousands plus dollars, like jumps to the other bidders was
Right.
in the asphalt. So I didn't know if you were just able to lock in pricing earlier in the year that
It's
the tone, or bulk pricing, or how you
It's
guys manage that.
so it's weird over here because up there where we're from Pontiac, so the one we're doing up there, Cadillac Asphalt is the paver that they have a monopoly with the tennis court mixes. Over here, you have a little bit more where you have Gherkin and asphalt plants. They're a little cheap, so that's kind of where our pricing difference comes into play. But at the same time, except for the installation of the fence materials, and the striping, we in-house do all the other work.
Nice.
There's a big gap of it, that's why.
Yep.
That works for me. Any other questions, guys? Do you have any questions on our end? Do you, Al, I don't know. I know you've had some insight in this and going over things. That you have any insight or questions or?
I guess I would ask, how long has your company been?
We have been in business for more than 30 years now. I don't know if you know about ASI quite a bit. So we started as a striping company, and then we ended up becoming a full-blown paving company. We do our own cement stabilization. We own a trucking company. Again, that kind of gives a little money edge to us. So.
Go for it.
And you're getting the
Correct. Depending on availability, sometimes Gherkin, if they have a highway mix in order, we would have to pull from Cadillac.
If I could raise one point just on the echo I did, John. Oh, I have to know. You'll get your. Oh,
Yeah, you're next.
Actually, I was gonna. Oh gosh, I think I just had a question. I'm trying to. Oh, how many pickleball courts has your company done total?
I started with ASI in 21, and I know about 6 courts we've done already.
Where are they located? So right now you're doing Fraser. Where else?
So we've done in Fraser. We did actually Bush Park. One of my coworker did it. I'm not quite familiar with the area. It's called Bush Park Tennis Courts. I've done Eisenhower and Henry Ford. They've got tennis courts up there. Brandenburg Park tennis courts. So
What cities are these?
Chesterfield, city of Chesterfield,
Okay.
city of Sterling Heights were the 2 Henry Ford and Eisenhower's. Stephens Park is in city of Fraser. I'm not quite sure where Bush Park is,
Okay.
but it is one of the projects that we recently did.
Okay.
Have you had any issues with your pickleball courts or the asphalt or whatever? Because these things get heavily used now. You know what I mean? Like tennis courts.
Yeah. So the only thing that I have actually seen as an issue is, we used to use HX asphalt for to pull the asphalt mix from. The only issue that we ran is that when these plants run their silo, they run different types of mixes with different wraps in it. So when tennis court mix come into play, it's a virgin mix. There's no wrap that's supposed to be in the mix. But sometimes, since they run different mixes in the silo, it gets contaminated a little. And then once it gets laid down, you kind of see rust spots come in. But Goddard has a way of preventing that. They have a rust inhibitor that they put on top of it before they put the surface coating, so it stops it from happening.
And you guys will put on a rust inhibitor before doing on top the paving, the striping?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Anything else? Questions? That's all we have for
Thank you.
asphalt specialists. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And then are you with A&J?
Yeah.
If you want to come up to the podium so we can.
The A&J paving, the other bid of recommendation is also present. Any questions for them, or are you guys doing a rundown?
Just now, let everyone know.
Austin Blaine, A&J Paving Company.
Thank you.
Thank you, Austin.
I mean, I guess similar questions. Have you done any pickleball courts?
So we've done one pickleball court right now in Belleville that we're still working on in the middle of, and then we've also done a inline hockey rink, which is the same mix, same basic rundown of
Right.
the whole thing, but it's
Different striping.
Yeah, paint and stripe and pave. Yep,
Where's the hockey court located?
Livonia.
Okay.
The only thing that I noticed too, though, in the bid document, because it said 1336A on there, so that's all I wanted to make sure of is that tennis court mix was being used, because that was the big price difference for us when we submitted our bid, was we did price it with the tennis court mix, which she said they are going to do as well. So that's the main point I wanted to say, was just the bid doc said 1336, but we were not going to use that.
1336. Honestly, a question that probably.
You were not going to use it, you're saying?
Can't use it for a pickleball court because of, like she was saying, the wrap and the rust and all that stuff. You have to use a limestone base and not.
Something bouncier because the pickleball ball needs to hit hard, like.
The main difference is the base aggregate in the pickleball mix is a limestone base instead of having iron ore and stuff in it.
Harder than tennis.
It
you're
just
saying?
rusts.
It's the rust spots, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it's a virgin mix with a limestone base inside of the mix.
So I guess we need to ensure that is the case with asphalt. I mean,
As well as the bid docs did not call for wipeout, which is the rust inhibitor. So it's not in the bid docs or in the contract at all, but it's a typical point.
That's not what we got from their letter, and would need Manick and Smith to confirm. There's nothing specific line item down here.
I think it was in the bid docs for the mix.
Yeah, which Manick and Smith has all of that specifics.
Because that was one thing I even called. I was like, you sure it's... Because if I called Cadillac and told them I need 1336A for a pickleball court, they'd hang up the phone on me. And they'd say, cannot do it.
Fair enough.
That, and then Gherkin is the only supplier of material over here because Cadillac will not make it except for their northern plants.
I'd say we got to note that and get that confirmed with.
And then
Mannequin
to help
Smith.
answer your question as well, that might help with this for if in case anybody does hit the fence. Whenever we install, which is a super basic thing to do, a pickleball court, we always saw cut the edges and we put the fence outside of the asphalt and not through the asphalt. So that way, if anything ever does happen to the fence, it doesn't tear up the asphalt. If someone runs into the fence, it's
Okay.
going to flip the post out of the dirt. And it'll mess up the fence, of course, but your pickleball court will still be.
Okay, so it's
I have
not
a big
actually
gouge on it.
posted through.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how Stone Coast is done. I saw the aftermath of
There
it.
was
Yeah.
an accident over there. It was.
It just happened
Over the weekend.
I believe.
It was over the weekend. It was also actually was a medical emergency. Someone went off the road, and yeah.
That, and I think you guys have other pickleball nets too. You need to complete it at the same time as this project. If I read the minutes right, at least from a past meeting.
Yeah, there is some White Park pickleball nets are,
The nets themselves.
there's, I think, being held by zip ties.
Awesome.
All right.
What was the base that you do and don't want? What were they called again?
What was that? The mixed materials?
Yeah.
It was 13 and 36A.
1330,
36A.
1336A.
Two different mixes, 13A and 36A.
Oh,
and you do want the, which one?
It's a tennis court mix.
Which one of those,
5v1. What was that?
which one of those do you want to use?
Either of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Just to make sure it's written out though for you guys is all. But,
so 13A, 36A is bad. What's the tennis court mix called?
when I order, it's just tennis court mix. I think it's a 5v1 base kind of, but it's a limestone base, so it's just tennis court.
Do all the bids have the same stuff?
There was all the same bid package.
So, okay.
That's. But I would want to make sure with Mannequin Smith, which I'm assuming they've done, but assuming's not necessarily the proper approach. I would get it confirmed.
You guys got the hard stuff. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not 13 or 36 with yours.
Willis.
It is tennis court mix.
okay.
It's just outside of Milan, just
That's basically what I want to get down to.
Yep.
we paved Whitman Drive.
They are using, Asphalt Specialist is using tennis court mix. A&J Paving is
Using
tennis
tennis
court mix.
Yeah, it sounded like we're both using the same mix.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other questions, you guys?
I think I had a question for ASI as far as the fencing when we talked about, like, because they said they will not put the fence posts like in the asphalt, be outside of it because of that type of situation like that. So I was just going to ask if how your fencing is, if you want to come up and just.
So I didn't understand the question the first time around. So what he kind of explained is exactly what we're doing at Steffens Park. So we are done with the topping right now. We're saw cutting the edges and the fence, even the foundations are a little installed away from the.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing the same.
More or
Okay.
less in Mannequin Smith's oversight of where the installation occurs. Like they can literally just have it listed like fences off of asphalt.
And that's what they're doing
Base.
too.
Yep.
Okay, good. That's all I needed.
Yep.
Just wanted to clarify. Yep, thanks.
Do we motion to do this, or do we motion to send it to
Recommend.
the township board for them
Well,
to do it?
That's, we're going to send it to them for approval with a recommendation.
I motion to send Asphalt Specialist LLC bid to the township board for approval by them, or whatever you say, yeah. Our recommendation
Or-
to the
or
township board.
Township
for
Hall
them.
to go through their.
You guys may have to even go back to township board. I don't know if you got to do 2 meetings or not. Sorry, our township may, have that much of a process for you. But, I mean, I'll recommend as Mannequin Smith recommends.
Do we want to do a friendly amendment about adding the 10% contingency to allow per Mannequin Smith's recommendation
Yes.
Yeah.
for the
We
approval
would do
amount?
that with any of them?
Per their
Yes,
recommendation,
correct.
yes.
So like any, yeah, I mean, yeah, then
Which would be
241, 147.
241, 147.50 is what.
here, you read it. You start and I'll second you because you got,
Fire it.
you're in charge and you got it written out and you make it official.
All right, I make a motion to recommend to the Board of Trustees the building of car parks pickleball courts be completed by Asphalt Specialists LLC as evidenced by Mannequin Smith's review and lowest bid with a 10% contingency allowance to make the total to 241, 147.50.
I second.
Got that all listed nice.
Yep. Good.
All right, we'll go down and voting. Aaron,
Yes, aye.
Matthew,
Aye.
myself, I, and Josh.
Unicorn votes aye.
It is approved to go to Township with Asphalt Specialists LLC with that contingency in place, with the 10% contingency.
We were going to try to get on to the next meeting, which is a week from tomorrow. It depends on if we can get it all buttoned up by then. It may be on the meeting after that.
I got to get the meeting minutes in promptly. Is that the button up?
That's part of the button-up.
Part of the button up.
Okay, good.
But
Only
it,
tomorrow, remind me about.
we would be aiming for a Township meeting of, so that's the 10th, 17th, is that?
So
It's the following
Tuesday the
Tuesday.
17th, yes.
in correlation with this, I also would like to make a motion in the same realm
Spectrum, yes.
to hire Mannequin Smith to inspect and oversee construction of the pickleball courts in the amount of $10,000.
No more than,
Yeah.
correct. I will second that motion for Mannequin Smith to oversee the actual construction.
That's another new expenditure.
They,
Up to.
correct. this is their oversight to it.
Al, would they do that anyway? No? Yeah, please.
Absolutely.
Ain't you got them on enough retainers that they'll just,
We don't put Mannequin Smith on a retainer.
I hear you.
Yeah, they're just paid per project. So in terms of that, you can put not to exceed or whatever, and or make your motion like you did. I don't see this being as extensive as the maintenance building, where we're doing testing, concrete and all that good stuff that we're doing. So asphalt's a little different in terms of that. Quite honestly, we'll know if it's bad right away. I mean, you kind of know.
Mannequin Smith thinks they're done as of now.
Until
Whatever
the project.
Right.
Yep.
But I
or was a pre-project, and now they're
All the way through to
hands
this.
washed. All right.
And what I would do is make sure, and the reason why you want to do this is because there's always liability with any project. And as evidence, when you don't use an engineer and something goes wrong, then we know what happens. There's no recourse. There's nobody to, you can go after the contractor all day long, but if the contractor says, see you later, they're not in business anymore, you're stuck. Mm-hmm. But when I have an engineer oversee a project, I'm calling up the engineer and saying, you were on this project, so what's going on with it? And so,
Unless you want to oversee the whole thing.
No, I just don't know.
That's
it's
why
they've done a lot, and
Right.
then it's another 10 G's.
Well,
News to me to do.
we're still well below.
that was kind of where they're originally expecting, and the engineer's estimate was 335. Now we're at 219 with the 10% retainer, 241.
Yeah,
They're up to 10,251. We're still under what we were expecting for this project. And yes, I mean, I've seconded the motion.
You want that. You think that's...
Oh, I definitely, I mean, I
So,
highly
With that,
recommend
I
it.
seconded the motion to hire Mannequin Smith
Okay.
to oversee the project up to a $10,000 amount. I seconded Aaron,
Yes, I...
Matthew,
Yes.
myself, I, Josh.
Unicorn votes aye.
So that is, the second motion is approved for Mannequin Smith to oversee this process. And that's what we will send to Township for aiming for Tuesday the 17th for them to have their final say and if the project is actually approved or if they.
Hopefully it'll be way less than 10,000 because these guys will make it easy on them.
Right.
Exactly. But that is all we've got for
Pickleball.
court reviews. Moving on, next item is 9B, the fireworks update. Fireworks are still on track and scheduled for Friday the 27th, with the 28th as a rain date. I've gotten 2 of the contracts back so far. I've got to review which food trucks and which, but I know for sure we have God Ears, we've got the Lights, Glowworks, and I know Loaded Gastro, who has participated in the past, is not going to be able to participate this year.
And didn't you say we've got Purple Penguin and Big Drowski?
Big Drabowski or whatever that one is also is booked that day. They were reviewing their dates. They are
Okay.
available for Friday the 27th. If it goes to rain date the 28th, he would be available.
Okay.
Purple Penguin is who I need to get in touch with and just double check, confirm that they are taking part.
What's the deadline for this?
The 27th.
Which is
Like-
the day before?
That is the day of. I mean, as long as we just need to get the contract in place, that they sign a page and bring the payment with them.
I keep forgetting to, but I'll reach out to Brandon Mills from Holy Jesus.
Okay. Any other updates or things you guys need? We have one more meeting. Our next meeting will be Monday the 23rd, which is that Monday before that Friday of the show. By that point, I will confirm and everything. There will be like a pre-show walkthrough meeting with the fire department, with the sheriff's department, like we all go over to site, attend, just make sure everybody has all their pieces in place. But as far as discussions on that, everybody's on track, knows the date, and schools prepare, like everybody.
I may have missed it.
We're good to that.
Did you say what time the festivities kind of start?
The food trucks show up between 5 and 6 p.m.
Okay.
and do their setup and go. Usually people start showing up and going about 6 p.m. Depends on weather, depends on
What time is the walkthrough at the fire?
The fireworks show, it goes off at dusk, which is usually right at about 9:55 to 10:05.
What time is the walkthrough
I don't have that set up.
Is that with us?
Correct. It's not with like the public
3B?
or anything. It's 3B is also
got a thing
hosting their annual fundraiser.
Thing starts?
I think they do an all-day event with
they'll be
blow up house. They'll be at White Park.
Oh,
all
White
day.
Park, yeah.
Yep.
They did that last year then, too.
Correct.
Yeah, that
They've
was
done
really
it 2
nice.
years in a row now. So they are also hosting their 3B fundraising event that day at White Park.
So it's already an all-day thing.
Yep.
And the fireworks shoot
Right.
off at dusk. So.
Nice.
Nice, okay.
Outside of that, I don't have any other fireworks update. If you guys come up with anything, or if you contact whoever, just keep me in the loop so I can get contracts out into them, and
Yeah.
we'll go from there. Item 9C, the hall rental dumpster key option. We just put this on here. I don't even think it needs to be a motion or an approval. We were talking about for all of the rental keys, there used to be, and then I think the locks got changed on the dumpsters and played up. The rental hall keys that people get when they rent and go and pick up used to have a dumpster key on it as well. It does not anymore, so every time the hall is rented, the renters, when they do their cleanup, just leave a pile of garbage for the
They fill up all the
cleaning service to take care
barrels,
of,
too.
or they fill up all the barrels that are right there. So we were talking about, and we are, just so you guys are in the know and aware, asking maintenance to make enough copies for all the rental keys, so there is a dumpster key on that as well, so people can put their garbage after the event into the dumpster.
I wonder if they'll use it that much, but okay.
I'll update the rental agreement
Well,
saying that.
so it's noted
Please
in
put it
there.
there,
Oh.
and please lock it when you're done, type of thing.
I wonder if just a big can in the corner of the
There's one
facility
at Carr outside the
says, like,
doors.
leave here, renters, with a sign, renters, leave trash in this can, and then
I've-
Amy Frost can.
I mean,
Fish it
sometimes
in later,
it's
but-
30 bags.
Going there before at
Yeah,
some
really? Yeah, fair enough.
When I went to some of the
Graduation
halls, they've had like people have their bags all tied by the door, just sit next to the door, like bags, everything tied, everything ready to go out to the dumpster. I mean, I don't see a problem in doing that. My only issue is, and you already know it's going to come from me because I work in the business as well. I've talked about people dumping their garbage at the parks, but whether or not these are on camera too or not, if people are going to bring their trash from outside of their rental and dump it in our dumpster, that's the thing I'm going to have an issue with, is letting people have keys.
And I'm not worried about that. They're
That's
running
not a
the hall,
concern. Them locking it back up or losing the lock.
Which
which is going to be put
That's,
into the
I
contract.
mean, that's a concern too, but like I'm just saying,
We'll have the cleaner make sure it's locked too, because
Yeah, I mean,
She
and
has
there's
her
more
copy.
locks out there. I mean, if they actually lost the lock, maintenance could get another one.
You literally undo it, it hangs on it, you put your key, this stuff in
I know,
it,
just,
and
yeah.
lock it back up.
It is a thing someone could lose. But
Right.
If it gets lost, maintenance at least has others, right? And
Yes.
get more, so good.
Which it hasn't been as big of an issue with a much more smooth operating cleaning service that we have in place now compared to prior, where they didn't show up and then 30 bags of garbage were sitting in there for the next rental. And so it's improved, but they used to be on it. They're not anymore. So if they're able to be on it per township, we're going to get those put on it.
this came up in a talk with
that's
the
good.
maintenance about how the barrels are getting filled up very fast, and so then people will just see, they'll just.
And they don't do
next barrel.
daily emptying of the barrels.
Yeah, right.
Like maintenance isn't there daily running through those. It's like a weekly or bi-weekly
They're putting
thing.
the other barrels like in the park too.
Correct. That's all for that item. Item added 9D, the summer parks program, Samaria. We've been allowing summer parks, which is the MCISD, the early childhood. They've been last few years using Car Park, and usually it's like a Wednesday, Thursday for about 4 weeks in the summer. They sent us the list of dates for Car and all that. I notified her and actually talked with her today, let her know because of the planned construction at Car between the courts and potential pavilion rework, and their main thing is to just utilize the pavilion. It'd be from 9 a.m. to noon on these dates. That I told her Car is not going to be the best option for them this summer. They are more than on board and okay with moving this to Samaria for their dates. I let her know all the details. I did review the bookings. None of these dates are currently booked at Samaria, so we can keep a lookout moving forward. If somebody does rent for these, like I said, they're mainly Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays during the week from 9 to noon. They never get rented during those times. That I'm going to motion to allow them to go and utilize the pavilion during those dates. They are fully aware that we're not like closing the park, like public might be present. They They know the operation. They just are basically letting us know the dates they plan to go to the park. So
Pavilion, not the shelter.
correct, not the hall, just the pavilion.
If it does get rented, do they step aside, or do
We would reject the rental, or before rejecting it, contact who's renting and let them know, hey, from 9 to noon, is this okay? Is this a conflict? If not,
That sounds
this would
reasonable,
have
yeah,
first rights.
sure.
I don't see that, honestly, going to happen during the summer on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday during the week from 9 to noon. I looked through, none of these dates are booked. No, I doubt any of them will be.
Not usually.
But that's my motion to approve them, these dates. To show you the way, it's June 19th to the 26th, July 9th, 10th, 16th, 17th, and 23rd, and August 7th and 14th. We've allowed them at CAR the past 2 or 3 years now, but like I said, I notified her they're okay moving it to Samaria because of all the planned construction between the courts and the pavilion at CAR.
Second.
Aaron, second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And Aaron?
Yeah.
Aye. I know you seconded it. That takes care of that. I'll email her back and let her know that we're cleared for those dates. And then item number 9E was added, the car park pavilion modifications. We got back from our supervisor, from Al, in regards to the scope of work and the review of modifications for the pavilion to get the posts fixed and all the minor details on it to bring that back up to acceptable and operational. The project fee they're estimating not to exceed $9,700. Anybody have any review of it or any insight?
Do they actually do the inspection of the post construction as well with this? Yes, please, Al. Thank you. Is this all encompassing for them? Like this is for them to design it and then to oversee the final construction to make
Yeah,
sure it meets?
they'll be
if you
doing the
look through
inspections.
Task one.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And the reason why it's more expensive too is we're dealing with now structural engineers. You know, these aren't just, it's not like a road. These are a little different when you bring in the structural guys, so. And, you know, once again, I always take a look at liability and why I think this is important
Yeah.
in terms of, you
It's
know.
a big structure to fall on somebody.
Yeah, we need to do it right. There's just no
We
doubt
looked
about
at it and had a company hired 4 years back to do it, and then that company ghosted us and backed out, and it never happened, and here we are again. So, yeah.
Exactly, so, yep.
Thank you, Al.
So,
Is there a company here that
Mannequin Smith.
Mannequin Smith Group, MSG.
they're going to do the work? Or they're
So
gonna,
I'm sure they'll sub it out, but here's the cost for task one, the coordination and QA, QC. Mannequin Smith Group will provide project management, oversight, coordination, and QA quality control tasks during project development. They will do a site inspection. It's task two. Task three is design and details of revised column foundation. All of this is included with it, and their project fee would be $9,700. They will get it taken care of start to finish. So the motion is to approve them
we don't
for
need
this.
to bid it. Were there other
They
bids?
will handle the bids and whoever they hire to actually do the
Oh, I
work,
see.
and that's
So they'll
part of it.
They'll get a whole 3
Yep.
bids and everything.
Yep. They'll do their part on that end.
Wasn't the
So,
Lions Club going to split it, or was that something else?
They were going to give $7,000 towards this
Oh,
for the remodeling of it.
so 7 of that 97's even spoken for. Like there's of that 9,700, there's
Basically.
6,000. that's
that
already-
would be our final bill, and if they are still willing and donating, then, yeah.
I did see the assumptions. Complete redesign of the pavilion structure is not included in this proposal, and the bidding of the contractor selection is not included. So it could go up a little bit based on those things if we add that to it. If we need to hire them to do the.
Do we want to hire them to do the bidding? Or go right ahead. Come on up, Al.
I just saw that.
Here's what can happen.
You're our guy.
Yeah, they have connections in terms when they send out stuff for bidding, right? We still have to have
That's why we
those
got
bids
11
come into Bedford
bids.
Township.
And for us to review and approve.
Right, for
Yep.
you guys to review and so on. So at this point, I don't think I would pay more for them to send out the bids. They'll have connections. They're going to circulate it in terms of that. We're going to
We
help.
can circulate it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like.
They're coming up with the bidding outline or the,
Exactly.
The-
It's the reason why you got
here's
the
the
amount
items
of
required.
bids for the pickleball courts, because we were on the phone calling companies and telling them, hey, you need to come to our website. We're bidding on, we got pickleball courts out. Next thing you know, we started,
From 0 to
right, Mannequin
13
Smith.
really quick.
They're letting people know, hey, you need to go look at this project. I mean, I was at a charity function. I had two contractors come up to me and said, hey, what about this pickleball court thing that's going on, And the same way with this. This is a little different terms too. It's because, we could probably go hire a contractor tomorrow. But once again,
Liability.
the liability, the guy messes up or whatever.
Let Mannequin Smith.
Yeah, exactly. So
the reins.
it's money well spent. And also too, I think there was one of the churches were talking about maybe donating some money and so on to the pavilion. So there's people out there willing to do some things money-wise. So
Which church is that? Which church?
I'd rather not say right now until,
Okay, that's fine.
because they haven't made a
Not
commitment.
putting.
There's
them
been no
on the-
commitment.
Right. On the
When does this get mentioned to Township Board? Just at the next meeting again?
Tuesday the 17th.
Is anybody showing up, or
I will be.
Me too.
because of the others? Have you been doing that every Tuesday?
When we've
Or
had
this will be
items.
your first time? If we've had
If we've had items and whatnot.
Yeah, this one, just kind of sequence of events a little bit. This one, we definitely want to get on for Tuesday because we want to get it going.
Right. We want to get moving and get it on.
Well,
Asphalt, the pickleball courts and so on, if they might make it on not this Tuesday, but the following one. And the only reason why I'm saying that is and I'll know tomorrow about how many agenda items we have.
Right.
So some things take a little longer than others. We're up there, so.
if you guys can kill two birds with one stone, obviously, that'll
Exactly.
There you go.
good. Okay.
I'll know tomorrow.
Motion.
Okay.
I'll motion to.
I was going to say, I already had the motion out there for
Yeah.
approval of this agreement of professional services from Mannequin Smith
I'll set.
regarding the car park pavilion modifications.
I'll support.
All in favor, Aaron?
Aye, yes.
Matthew?
Aye.
Myself, aye. And
Aye.
Josh. This is approved, and we'll get it over to Township Board.
Let me take a picture of that.
You got it?
Okay, just keep-
Moving on, that is all of our old new business. Parks update, Anstead Park.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Samaria?
Nothing new to report at this time.
White Park, there was an update from Al last week. I don't know if you guys saw in your email. There was another broken zone on the playscape. There was a hole in some of the flooring. That piece has already been ordered, and that zone was closed off and barriered off to not be used. The unfortunate part is, just like the other playscapes and the other times we've had broken pieces, you'll hear plenty complain online, but they've been ordered. Miracle play equipment is generally, when they tell us, is always on back order and usually takes time to come in. So, but the zone and the broken item has already been noted. It's already been ordered. They didn't wait for our meeting tonight. They moved forward right with it to get a repair completed on that. That's more or less just a public notification, as we are aware. It's been ordered. We're, as fast as it comes in, we'll get it fixed. Parmalee?
That disc golf tournament took place, right?
Yes, that was just this past Saturday, I believe.
Nobody
7th?
Nobody heard anything? No
No
problems?
issues.
Smooth?
I didn't hear anything back from him. I did talk with him prior to it that it was still a go, everything's set. For next meeting, there is another group, same type of scenario. They're looking on a Saturday during the day type event. They will get the Disc Golf Association insurance. They'll get all that in place and over to me. Once he gets me his info, the date, the time, and all that info over, which will likely be for the 23rd's meeting, I will bring it to you guys to see if we want to approve or not.
Black Swamp or another?
Another.
Jeez,
Black Swamp I need to get a hold of and see what the deal is or the scenario where they're at with the course sign. Yep.
I was just about to ask about that because I know we're waiting for that to get put up.
Yep. Outside of that, for Parmalee, you've got anything else?
No, nothing else other than that.
Cars Grove, there's a whole lot going on.
Yes. Obviously, the pickleball we just did. The fence, we are, of course, everything's on back order right now, so we're waiting on the fence to get in.
As soon as that's in, that's all, obviously, that company's all been approved and that. It's just a matter of once parts are in, we'll have that front fence finished.
And
Courts are on the way.
I did send out, I called a few pavement resurfacing or sealing companies to get some quotes. We've gotten one back so far. I'm hoping to get a second one by tomorrow.
And we did it fall of 23. And with the construction and everything planned, I was figuring both Samaria and Carr, we would be looking in the mix of spring of 26.
That's possible. I was trying to use some of the funds that we have available this year.
I wouldn't do it before all the construction and all the equipment that's going to be in and out and through
Hopefully they're
those
not on that
potentially. We don't know if they need to access through the hall, the gated area. I wouldn't push it to have things redone and striped until construction's completed, especially if we're looking at pavilion work.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
will be entering that side and using that entry, and so it's on the radar. Yeah, start getting quotes. We can get numbers in place.
So far, I get for due to crack fill, seal, and stripe, I got one company at $1,700 or $1,600 so far. So it's not.
No, it's nothing crazy, and that's about, I believe, where each lot was at last time we did both Samaria and Carr at the same time. It was fall of 23. We had it done late September, and I remember I headed that one. So figured right at about that 3-year window, 2 to 3 year window, which wait till after construction, but yeah, that's looking like a spring kickoff of spring of 26 would be ideal to do those and have them striped and ready and nice for the summer and the season.
And then we ordered a few small items to just make the pavilion or the hall better. Some official rugs instead of carpet squares, and some new garbage cans to replace the broken ones.
Okay.
So just little things.
Normal things.
Yeah.
Same thing too at Samaria. If there's anything on the list or you notice with the hall or anything, let's just get it updated.
We ordered 2 rugs for
Okay.
Samaria.
So, okay, you covered
we're
both.
in the sense
Okay.
of ordering, just
Nice.
got 2 more for
Perfect.
them too.
Thank you.
Outside of that, for cars, Wheeler Preserve, I don't. What's that? Oh, I was gonna say for Wheeler Preserve, I don't have any update. I've through it. It's there. No real.
Oh, Wheeler, I was gonna ask, what those are the bat boxes are more like nets. Have you guys seen those? They're like these net things that are up on quite a few
I haven't
trees.
seen the nets.
It's like a little contraption. It's got a net that I feel like I don't know. I was kind of wondering how it works, but maybe you'll.
I built a couple of bat boxes. What they do is they fly in and grab the bottom and then climb up. So maybe the net is for them
There's
to grab.
definitely a net configuration. Is it what it's supposed to catch bugs and make it easier for them to catch bugs, or
No,
what's
it's
it do?
so they can fly in and grab it, and then they climb up into the bat box.
Just to live and habitate. Maybe these are something else than these net things.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll
I've not
take a
seen the
picture of
net.
these
They
net
at
things.
Wheeler.
Yeah.
I can't.
There's
Trying
like
to picture it
5 or
offhand.
10.
Because I'm waiting to hear back from Andrew, the Eagle Scout Select, that he's doing. Maybe he got are they new?
Yeah, they work
Or those
before.
his? Because
They're
he's
newish.
doing
I'll
some.
take a picture. And,
It's part of his project, but I haven't gotten an update from him since the last time when we approved
They're
it.
not like they're nothing bad other than it was interesting, and they're doing something obviously with the wildlife there. So I don't know. There's nets, not boxes. I don't know. Maybe it's not for bats.
Yeah, I would say that. I don't know if it's for bats.
Didn't look like that. No.
'cause
Maybe it's for
Snag a
something
picture
else.
of her. I'll go look over
Yeah,
there.
butterflies.
Are they up near where are they at?
It's along the trail.
Along the trail area?
You
Okay.
know,
I'll try to take a peek.
they're around. They're doing something. But okay, yeah.
One thing I was going to mention about Wheeler Preserve, we went through there not too long ago, went through walking there. Beautiful trails, I will say, but there's a lot of tree of heaven invasive stuff that needs to go. So sometime this year, I'd like to see all that get eradicated out of there, because I know it's in the master plan to get that out of there. So if we could work with maintenance to see when they got a perfect time to get in there and do that.
Realistically, I remember we looked into this. One, because Wheeler Preserve was, and I don't think it is anymore under contract with the partnership with Oak Openings. I think that's over with. Nope. That ended with us as a last board, but we're using them and seeing a lot of them are too large to the point where our maintenance will not get into it. It's more or less we got to mark them, have a company come in and do it. If that's the case, budget-wise, we'd be looking at next year's budget. Unless it's something, but I mean, yeah, we'll bring it to
We
it.
could, is it something we should put out to get bids for potentially?
Depending on the level of it and the scope and how many we're looking at, and it'd all be another discussion.
If you were to fly a plane, those bets are for, the lantern flies. Somebody's watching us. Oh,
Nice.
Interesting. That's the lantern flies. Okay, I think
Yeah.
so. As they
Yeah.
get in the net. Okay. If you were to fly over Section Road, though, like there'd be trees of heaven.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere. Like, we're going to be nipping a little. I don't know. I know we need to set an
That's why it's not at the top of my list of issues we have with the parks for getting updates.
Right.
Government setting a
keep
good
it-
example is a beautiful thing, but
It
also
is.
government not spending money is more beautiful.
There's some other items that need
So, I don't know. It's
more
like
urgency.
Everybody's house is probably littered with those things all over that whole.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like they're just going to come back. Right?
Outside of parks. Al, did you have something for the parks? Yeah, if you want to.
Couple of things in terms of the drinking fountains.
Oh, yeah.
We should be posting to go out to bid tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so, and I want to try and get all the bids in by June 30th. Gives people enough time to get it in. We'll be calling plumbers and stuff too, same thing. Try and get as many bids in that we can. Some things that we are looking at right now, grills for the parks, so that we can kind of get those changed. The picnic tables are being looked into, car stops, a lot of that kind of thing that are small improvements, but we can do quickly.
Right.
We don't have to sit there and wait for months to do something. So I think people are starting to see that we're moving forward. That we're trying to, you guys are moving things forward, looking at things, getting things going. So I think it's starting to show in terms of what we're doing. So I know I'm pretty excited to see some of these things start to happen. It's been a good number of years before we've seen some improvements in the parks and so on. It's just,
I agree.
everything's funding, and so the things we can do, we're going to do. And then we're just going to keep moving forward. The thing when it comes to that playground equipment, because I did email Matt and you, Andrew, when I get something like that, I'm going to act on it right away.
Act on it.
Not that we're trying to bypass the
Nope.
park board, but it's like, hey, I'm calling the board. I send out an email, and it's like, let's get it ordered.
If it's an emergency fix, order it. Get it
Yeah,
done.
because you know how long it takes.
Wait for our meeting 2 weeks down the road to then go to you guys. Like, no. Get it.
Exactly. I also
I think we're all on the same page of that kind of, it's an emergency item. Let's
get it done.
it takes a month to 2 for the parts to come in as is.
Exactly.
Get it ordered.
So motions is Al can do whatever he wants as long as he talks to Andrew.
Get it ordered.
I mean,
If it's a broken playscape or playground
They already have
equipment,
that.
that's an emergency issue or a hazard issue, 100%. We're all on the same page.
Exactly.
talk to one of the chairmen and you're good. Yeah,
Yep.
Beautiful. I agree. I like it. Yeah.
Exactly. So like I said, we're moving forward on things, and
Yeah, it's
it's
a process, but we're pushing it.
and
I like it.
I was approached today just to let you know nothing's finalized. It's just all back in the. They're going to be forming a committee, but they want to bring, as you might know or not know, before COVID, we had a festival planned to bring back the parade for the homecoming parade they used to do, and to have a festival at Parmalee Park and the Civic Club. And we had a lot of people on board, and they want to bring it back. There used to be a festival here.
Who's they?
Huh?
Who's they?
The
Civic Club?
No,
Or-
you're looking at the Bedford Business Association is looking to get involved. This festival, for those who have not lived here a long time, but if you talk to people that grew up here, they will tell you about that festival. They will tell you about the parade. They remember it as kids, so they're working on it. So that was pretty exciting. That just happened today. So there's some good things there going to happen.
Good.
BBA is initiating. Maybe I should go stop in and say hi, and because I'm the Parmalee liaison, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely would.
You need anything?
I would. Yeah, I think it would, Aaron. You know what I mean? The more cooperation we can get.
But it's officially at the Civic Club.
Well,
Right? It's an event that's hosted at
Parmalee
the
and
Civic Club.
Civic.
Parmalee and the Civic, we had it worked out to use both.
Okay.
When we were originally doing it, Civic Club was in. That previous park board was in, and then COVID hit.
Yep.
And it canceled everything. I mean, it was like, we had vendors lined up.
I was in charge of music.
Huh?
I had music lined up.
Yeah. And then we had to go, boom, and put the kibosh to it. So.
Do you want me to give you a work order, an email, or do you want me to give you one now for maintenance for Parmalee?
Just give me an email.
Okay.
Yeah, email will be good. Get it passed on.
Cool.
And if we are working on some things too in maintenance with the new building. We're analyzing software right now for work orders, inventory management, things of that nature. So there's things that we're looking at in terms of maintenance. So, but we're just going to keep moving forward.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Al. We're past the Parks point. Comments from the public. There is none present. Commissioners' comments. Aaron? Nothing? Matthew?
Nothing additional.
I have nothing additional. Like I said, our next meeting will be the 23rd, which is that Monday before the fireworks. That's our next kind of big event coming up.
Got one?
So I will keep you posted on that for our next meeting.
Yeah, I have a few things. So one, you mentioned a few things about small improvements like the grills and the picnic tables and such. Another thing I saw while we were in the master plan was pet waste dispensers. That might be something else we could look into doing too. It's in the master plan. A few things. This Wednesday, Planning Commission's having a meeting. I don't know if you guys received the email from Jody or not, but this Wednesday they're having a meeting for the CIP. Encourage all of us to attend and have our voice be heard for the parks. Please attend it. Fireworks budget for next year. Talked to Josh Stump not long ago. He informed me that next year they're trying to schedule the fireworks in July, like 4th of July, because next year's the 250th anniversary of the country, so they're trying to not do them in June, but in July. So that's why in this next year's budget, you won't see the fireworks on the budget because the fiscal year ends June 30th. They're going to expect it to be like right after, so you'll see in the next budget afterward for fireworks.
Yeah, except the deposit's done in like February.
Yeah, so
They need to bring us because
yeah,
that's not on the township
right,
committee. That's me and us.
yeah.
Because I also heard rumor mills throwing of they would like to rebid it. Well, we just did that 2 years back. This is year 3. That is a 5-year contract.
Right.
If they have items, they can bring it to us as a board. But okay.
So, yeah, we'll look into it too. Master plan survey, end of the week. If you filled it out yet, great. If not, encourage you to do it. And also to the public, I encourage everybody in the public to fill out the master plan survey. It's on the township website. It's online. We need to do better than what we had 10 years ago when people filled it out, which was less than 2% of the voting population that filled it out. So if you want to see a lot of change and things happen, especially with the parks, please fill out the master plan survey. Your voice matters and it will be heard. Last but not least, just some communication things. So like what we were talking about the White Park issue about that thing being broken. I usually attend the township board meetings, and when I came last Tuesday, Al brought it onto the agenda to have it be added. I didn't know about it. I never got an email on it. And then come to find out, I know like Andrew, you and Matt both got it, but I never got it. So like if there's something like that going on, I like to know about it too, just to make sure I'm in the loop on things and I'm not finding out about things later. It's just communication, just make sure everybody's on the same page, and then also that way Aaron sees what's going on too. Other than that, that's all I have for tonight.
All righty. I need our next meeting, June 23rd, 2025, 7 p.m. here. I need a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Our meeting's adjourned.